December 1948. Long Island, New York. The Jones Beach Causeway stretches ahead like a concrete ribbon cutting through winter morning fog. Sonny Corleone grips the steering wheel of his 1941 Lincoln Continental, his knuckles white, his jaw clenched. Rage floods every nerve in his body. The phone call still rings in his ears. Connie crying, screaming. Carlo beat her again. This time worse than before. Sonny accelerates. The speedometer climbs past 70. His bodyguards call after him from the compound. Too late. He's already gone. Tom Hagen shouts warnings. Clemenza reaches for car keys. But Sonny doesn't wait. Can't wait. Won't wait. His baby sister needs him. The Tollbooth appears ahead. White concrete. Single attendant. Empty lanes on either side. Sonny slows. Reaches for coins in his pocket. The attendant drops the coin. Bends down. Takes too long. Sonny doesn't notice the cars blocking exit lanes behind the booth. Doesn't see the men rising from behind guardrails. Doesn't hear the safeties clicking off on 6 Thompson submachine guns. The first bullets shatter his windshield. 20 rounds. 30. 50. The Lincoln jerks and shudders under the impact. Sonny tries to escape. Opens the door. Stumbles onto pavement. They keep firing. Over 100 bullets tear through the eldest Corleone's son. His body dances like a puppet with cut strings. Then silence. The shooters disappear into waiting cars. Engines roar. Tires screech. Minutes later, Tom Hagen's men arrive at the scene. They find Sonny lying in the middle of the causeway, blood pooling on concrete. His body riddled with so many bullets the coroner will stop counting at 67. Vito Corleone identifies his firstborn son at the funeral home, whispers the words that break every father's heart. "Look how they massacred my boy." One Tollbooth, one moment of rage, one decision, and Michael Corleone's fate is sealed forever. But what if that phone call played out differently? December 1948. The same morning, the same rage building in Sonny's chest. Connie's voice breaking on the other end of the line. Carlo's latest beating, her screams echoing through the receiver. Sonny stands, jaw clenched, eyes burning. Every instinct screams at him to drive to Carlo's apartment right now, to beat him within an inch of his life, to make him pay. His hand reaches for his car keys. Then a voice cuts through the red haze. "Sonny." Vito Corleone stands in the doorway, his face grave, his eyes sharp despite his age and recent injury from Solozzo's assassination attempt. "Pop, did you hear what that animal did to—" "I heard." Vito's voice remains calm, measured. "Sit down." "I'm not going to sit down while that—" "Sit down." Something in Vito's tone stops Sonny cold. This isn't a request. This is the Don speaking. Not as father, as godfather. Sonny sits. Vito moves slowly into the room, still recovering from 5 bullets, still wearing the weight of decades building his empire. He settles into the chair across from his eldest son. "You think I don't know what you're feeling right now?" Vito's words come soft, almost gentle. "That's my daughter too, my baby girl. You think I don't want to go there myself? Then why are we sitting here?" "Because that's exactly what they want you to do." Sonny's eyes narrow. "Who's they?" "Think, Santino. Think like a Don, not like a hothead brother." Vito leans forward. "Carlo beats Connie. She calls you. You race over there without backup, without thinking. And then what?" The words hang in the air. Sonny's breathing slows. His mind starts working through the rage, processing what his father is saying. "You think it's a trap?" "I know it's a trap." Vito's voice hardens. "Barzini has been waiting for this moment. He knows your weakness. He knows you love your sister. He knows you can't control your temper when family is threatened." Sonny's fists clench, but he doesn't stand, doesn't reach for his keys. "So what do we do? Let Carlo keep beating her?" "No. We go. But we go smart. We go prepared." Vito gestures toward the window where Clemenza and several soldiers wait by 3 black Cadillacs. "You take 6 men, armed, alert. You drive carefully. You watch for ambushes. You think before you act." Tom Hagen enters the room, his face serious. "I sent scouts ahead to Carlo's apartment and the routes there. If Barzini has men waiting, we'll know." Sonny looks between his father and the family consigliere. His rage still burns, but now it's controlled, focused. "How long have you known about this?" Vito's expression doesn't change. "I've suspected for months that they would use your love for Connie against you. I've been watching Carlo, waiting for him to make his move. And you didn't tell me? Would you have listened? Vito raises an eyebrow. Or would you have confronted Carlo immediately and walked into whatever trap Barzini was setting? Sonny has no answer. They both know the truth. 30 minutes later, 3 Cadillacs roll out of the Corleone compound. Sonny rides in the middle car. Rocco Lampone drives. Clemenza sits in the passenger seat with a shotgun across his lap. 2 cars flank them, front and rear, 8 armed men total. They take the long route, avoiding the causeway, avoiding the toll booths. Tom Hagen's scouts radio in from Carlo's apartment. All clear, no suspicious vehicles, no men waiting. But Clemenza isn't satisfied. Take us past the Jones Beach Causeway first, the route Sonny would have taken if he'd gone alone. They drive toward the causeway. Morning fog still hangs heavy over the parkway. As they approach the toll booth, Rocco slows the car. Clemenza raises binoculars, studies the scene. There, he points. 3 cars parked behind the toll lanes, windows dark, engines running. Sonny leans forward, squints through the fog. Could be nothing. Could be. Clemenza lowers the binoculars. Or could be 6 men with Thompson guns waiting for one hothead Corleone to drive through alone. They watch for 5 more minutes. One of the parked cars pulls forward. A man in a dark coat steps out, looks around, checks his watch, gets back in the car. They're waiting for someone, Rocco observes. Been there too long to be coincidence. Sonny's hands clench into fists. His father was right. They set a trap, used Connie as bait, counted on his rage to override his judgment. If he'd driven here alone like every instinct told him to do, he'd be dead right now, riddled with bullets, bleeding out on concrete, just like they planned. Let's go see Carlo, Sonny says quietly, his voice cold now, calculated. But we're not going there to beat him. We're going there to get answers. The 3 Cadillacs turn around, head toward Carlo's apartment, this time with full security, this time with backup, this time thinking like Corleones instead of reacting like fools. They arrive at Carlo's building. 8 men pour out of the cars. Clemenza positions 2 soldiers on the street. 2 more cover the back exit. The rest follow Sonny up the stairs. Carlo opens the door. His face shows surprise, then fear. He didn't expect Sonny to arrive with an army. Connie sits on the couch, her face bruised, her lips split, but alive. Sonny looks at his sister, then at Carlo, then back at the soldiers behind him. He doesn't throw a punch, doesn't shout, doesn't give Carlo the reaction everyone expected. Instead, he speaks 4 words that chill the room. Get in the car, Carlo. Because Sonny Corleone just learned the most important lesson his father could teach him. The lesson that will save his life and change everything that follows. Patience is deadlier than rage, and a living Corleone is more dangerous than a dead one. The basement of the Corleone compound. December 1948. Late evening. Carlo Rizzi sits in a wooden chair, hands tied behind his back, sweat dripping down his face despite the winter cold seeping through the concrete walls. Sonny stands in front of him, arms crossed, face unreadable. This isn't the Sonny who beat Carlo bloody in the street months ago. This isn't the hothead who acts first and thinks later. This is someone different, someone colder, someone more dangerous. Vito Corleone sits in the corner, silent, watching, teaching his son through observation. Tom Hagen stands beside Carlo, legal pad in hand, taking notes, making this official family business. Who approached you? Sonny's voice comes quiet, controlled. Tattaglia or Barzini? Carlo's eyes dart around the room, looking for escape, finding none. I don't know what you're talking about. Sonny doesn't raise his voice, doesn't move, just stares. Connie called me this morning. You beat her, again. She screamed on the phone, loud enough for everyone in the compound to hear. You knew I'd come racing over there. You knew I'd come alone. You knew I'd drive straight down the causeway. Carlo shakes his head. I was angry. I lost my temper. That's all. Funny thing. Sonny tilts his head. We drove past the Jones Beach toll booth on our way to your place. 3 cars sitting there. Engines running. Men waiting inside. Been there since dawn. Carlo's face goes pale. Now those men are gone, Sonny continues. Disappeared after we didn't show up. After I didn't drive through that toll booth alone like they expected. Tom Hagen flips a page in his notepad. We have photographs, license plates. One of the cars belongs to a Barzini soldier, another to the Tattaglia family. Carlo's breathing quickens, his eyes wide. Vito speaks for the first time, his voice soft but carrying absolute authority. Carlo, you married my daughter. You became family. I gave you a living, respect, a place in our world. And you repaid me by setting up my son for murder. Don Corleone, I swear. Don't lie to the Don. Clemenza steps forward from the shadows. We know everything. We just want to hear you say it. The room goes silent. Carlo looks at each face, realizes he has no way out, no escape, no hope. His shoulders slump, his voice breaks. Barzini approached me 6 months ago, said Sonny was too dangerous, too unpredictable, said the families would never have peace with a hothead running the Corleones. And you agreed? Sonny's voice remains level, but his hands clench into fists. He offered me money, territory in Brooklyn, my own crew, said after Sonny was gone, I'd be somebody. Not just the husband nobody respects. Vito closes his eyes. The disappointment on his face cuts deeper than any blade. How many times? Tom Hagen asks. How many times did you beat Connie to set this up? Carlo doesn't answer. How many times? Sonny takes a step forward. 4. Over 6 months. Small beatings first. Testing if you'd come alone. Today was supposed to be the final one. The one where you'd drive straight into their guns. Sonny's jaw clenches. His whole body trembles. Every instinct screams at him to break Carlo's neck right here, right now. But he doesn't. He looks at his father. Vito gives the smallest nod. Permission, acknowledgement, pride. Take him to the car, Sonny says to Clemenza. We're going to pay Barzini a visit. Carlo's eyes go wide with terror. You said you wouldn't kill me. You said, I'm not going to kill you. Sonny's voice drops to barely a whisper. You're going to live. You're going to sit in that basement apartment I'm giving you, away from my sister, away from my family. And every morning when you wake up, you're going to remember that I could have killed you, should have killed you, but I showed mercy. He leans close to Carlo's ear. And you're going to spend the rest of your life knowing that mercy is a debt you can never repay. 2 soldiers drag Carlo out. His protests echo up the stairs until a door slams shut. Vito stands slowly, walks to Sonny, places a hand on his shoulder. You did well, my son. Pop, I almost drove right into it. If you hadn't stopped me, but I did stop you, and you listened. That's what matters. Vito's grip tightens. Santino, you have the fire, the passion, the strength your brothers don't have. But you also have something more. You have the ability to learn, to change, to become what this family needs. Tom Hagen steps forward. Don Corleone, there's still the matter of Barzini and Tartaglia. They tried to kill your son. They won't stop just because this attempt failed. No, they won't. Vito returns to his chair, his breathing labored, his face pale. The 5 bullets Solosso put in him 6 months ago still taking their toll. Then we go to war, Sonny says. Yes, but not like before, not rushing in with guns blazing. Vito coughs, waves away Clemenza's concern. We go to war the smart way. We plan, we prepare, we strike when they're not expecting it. How long? Months? Maybe a year. We make them think the threat is over, that you've calmed down, that we're willing to make peace. Vito's eyes gleam with the cold calculation that built his empire. And then, when they believe they're safe, we destroy them all in one day. Sonny nods. Understanding, learning. What about Michael? Tom asks. He's been in Sicily for almost a year now. When do we bring him home? Vito and Sonny exchange a long look. We don't, Vito says finally. Not yet. Maybe not ever. Tom's eyebrows rise. Don Corleone? Michael killed Solozzo and McCluskey. That made him a target. That made him a soldier. That pulled him into this life. Vito's voice carries weight. Sadness. Regret. But if Sonny runs this family now, if Sonny shows he can be Don, then Michael doesn't have to come back. He can stay in Sicily, find peace, find a different life. Sonny sees it clearly now. His father's master plan. The real reason Vito stopped him this morning. It wasn't just about saving Sonny's life. It was about saving Michael's soul. If Sonny survives, if Sonny becomes the Don his father needs him to be, then Michael can remain what he always wanted to be. A civilian, a good son, free from the family business. All Sonny has to do is stay alive, stay smart, stay in control. The choice his father is giving him is clear. Die young and pass the curse to Michael, or live and let his younger brother escape. Sicily, Spring 1949, 6 months after the Tollbooth that never happened. Michael Corleone walks through the village of Corleone with Apollonia Vitelli at his side, his wife of 3 months. Her laughter fills the narrow streets, her hand warm in his. They stop at the small cafe where they first met. Order espresso, watch the sunset paint the mountains gold. Michael's bodyguards, Carlo and Fabrizio, sit at a nearby table, alert but relaxed. No immediate threats, no urgent calls back to New York. Because in New York, Sonny Corleone is alive, learning, changing, becoming the Don his father always hoped Santino could be. And that means Michael doesn't have to go back. "You're thinking about America again," Apollonia says in careful English. Michael has been teaching her, slowly, patiently. "Just wondering how my family is doing. Your brother Sonny, the one who's like fire. Is he well?" Michael smiles. "Last letter said he's doing better, calmer. My father is teaching him patience." What Michael doesn't say, Sonny learning patience means Michael gets to stay here, in this village, with this woman, away from the blood and the violence and the family business that killed so many good men. Tom Hagen's letters arrive monthly, coded, careful, but clear enough. Sonny is consolidating power, making alliances, meeting with the other families, showing restraint where he used to show rage. The transformation surprises everyone. Barzini and Tartaglia grow confident. They think the failed Tollbooth ambush broke the Corleones. They think Sonny's new caution means weakness. They think wrong, but they won't know that until it's too late. New York, summer 1950, 18 months after the Tollbooth. Sonny sits in his father's old office, not behind the desk. That seat still belongs to Vito, but in the chair beside it. Partner, successor, student learning from the master. Vito's health declines. The 5 bullets Sollozzo put in him in 1946 did permanent damage. His breathing labors, his movements slow, his time grows short. But his mind remains sharp as Sicilian steel. "The meeting with Barzini went well?" Vito asks. "He thinks we're weak, thinks I'm afraid." Sonny's voice carries no anger, just observation, analysis. "He offered us Nevada, said we could move our operations west, out of his territory. And you accepted?" I thanked him for his generosity, said we'd consider it carefully. Sonny lights a cigar, a habit he picked up from his father. The ritual of patience. Tom is already buying up properties in Las Vegas, hotels, casinos, making it look like we're preparing to leave New York. Vito nods approval. And Barzini believes this? Completely. He thinks he won, thinks he pushed us out without firing a shot. Tom Hagen enters with paperwork. Legal documents, property transfers, all the legitimate business that hides the family's real work. Michael sent a letter, Tom says. He and Apollonia are expecting their first child, due in December. Vito's face lights up, the smile of a grandfather who might live to see another generation. Does he mention coming home? No, Don Corleone. He's talking about opening a business in Palermo. Import, export, olive oil. Completely legitimate. Vito looks at Sonny, pride shining in his tired eyes. You gave him that, Santino. You gave him the life I always wanted for him. Sonny shifts uncomfortably, not used to this kind of praise. He still asks about the family, still wants to know everyone's safe. Of course he does. He's a Corleone. Vito coughs, long and rattling. Tom rushes to bring water. But he doesn't have to be this kind of Corleone. Not anymore, not with you here. The unspoken truth hangs heavy in the room. If Sonny had died at that toll booth, Michael would have come home, would have taken over, would have become the cold, ruthless Don who destroyed his enemies without mercy. But Sonny lived, and Michael gets to be something else, something better, something their father dreamed about on that boat from Sicily 50 years ago. Senator Corleone, Governor Corleone, or just Michael Corleone, legitimate businessman, loving husband, proud father. Free, New Hampshire, autumn 1951, 3 years after the toll booth. Kay Adams receives a letter with an Italian postmark. She opens it carefully, reads Michael's familiar handwriting. He writes about Sicily, about Apollonia, about their son, born last December, named Santino, after the brother who saved his life without knowing it. He writes about the olive oil business, growing steadily, employing 30 men now, completely legal, completely clean. He writes about maybe coming to America someday, not to New York, never New York, but maybe New Hampshire, maybe Massachusetts, somewhere far from the family, somewhere they could have that normal life he promised her years ago. Kay folds the letter, presses it to her chest. She thinks about the Michael she knew at Dartmouth, the war hero, the good son who wanted nothing to do with his family's business. That Michael still exists, in Sicily, building something clean, something honest, because Sonny Corleone learned patience at a Tollbooth that could have been his grave. New York, winter 1955. 7 years after everything changed. Vito Corleone sits in his garden, wrapped in blankets, playing with his grandson Anthony, Connie's son. The boy laughs, chases, runs through the tomato plants. Vito smiles, at peace. Inside the house, Sonny meets with the capos. Clemenza, Tessio, Rocco Lamponi, planning the move to Nevada, planning the future. The conversation is strategic, methodical. No raised voices, no impulsive decisions. Sonny has become what everyone thought impossible. A patient Don, a calculating leader, a man who thinks 3 moves ahead like his father taught him. Vito watches through the window, sees his eldest son commanding respect, sees the family thriving, sees the business expanding without the blood and chaos that nearly destroyed them. Then his chest tightens. Pain shoots down his left arm, his breathing stops. He reaches for Anthony, tries to speak, can't. The boy runs for help. By the time Sonny reaches the garden, Vito Corleone is gone, 73 years old, died playing with his grandson, surrounded by tomatoes and sunshine and love. Not in violence, not in betrayal, not in the darkness that claimed so many men in his world. He died knowing his family would survive, knowing Sonny would lead them, knowing Michael would never have to become the cold killer destiny tried to make him. The funeral draws hundreds, capos from every family, politicians, judges, businessmen. Barzini attends, offers condolences, shakes Sonny's hand. "Your father was a great man," Barzini says, his smile false, his eyes calculating. "I hope we can continue the peace he built." "Of course." Sonny's face shows nothing, no anger, no grief, no hatred. "My father always said the smartest thing we could do was work together." Barzini nods, satisfied, believing Sonny really is the diplomatic don everyone thinks he's become. He doesn't see what Sonny sees, doesn't notice Tessio watching from across the cemetery, doesn't notice Clemenza counting the security detail, doesn't notice the way Sonny's eyes track every Barzini soldier in attendance. Because Sonny Corleone learned something at that Tollbooth 7 years ago. Patience isn't weakness, it's a weapon. And after 7 years of patience, of planning, of making everyone believe he's changed, Sonny is finally ready to use it. Tom Hagen approaches after the ceremony, hands Sonny a folder. "Everything's ready, all 5 families, simultaneous, just like we planned with your father." Sonny opens the folder, sees photographs, addresses, schedules, 7 years of intelligence gathering, 7 years of preparation. "When?" Tom asks. Sonny looks at his father's fresh grave. Remembers that morning in 1948, remembers the rage, remembers the lesson, remembers his father's words. "We strike when they're not expecting it." 2 weeks, Sonny says. "Let them think I'm grieving. Let them think I'm weak. Let them think the transition will be chaotic. And then we show them what patience looks like when it finally runs out." The 14th of February 1955, 2 weeks after Vito's funeral, Valentine's Day. Sonny Corleone chooses the date deliberately. The irony appeals to him. A day of love, a day of flowers and chocolates and romance. A perfect day for a massacre. Morning, 9:47 a.m., the Barzini compound in the Bronx. Don Emilio Barzini sits at his breakfast table, reading the newspaper, coffee steaming beside him. His wife brings fresh pastries from the kitchen. He feels safe, protected. Sonny Corleone spent 2 weeks mourning his father, attending masses, meeting with priests, acting like a man too grief-stricken to think about business. Barzini doesn't see the florist van parked across the street, doesn't notice the driver who's been sitting there for 30 minutes, doesn't hear the back doors open silently. Peter Clemenza steps out, shotgun hidden under his long coat. 2 soldiers flank him. They cross the street, knock on the door. The maid answers. "Flowers for Mrs. Barzini. Valentine's Day delivery." She smiles, opens the door wider. 3 seconds later, Clemenza is inside. The shotgun comes up. 2 shots. Don Barzini dies at his breakfast table. Coffee still hot, newspaper still open to the sports section. His wife screams. Clemenza and his men are already gone. 9:51 a.m. Philip Tartaglia's penthouse, Manhattan. The old Don sits with his mistress. Silk robe, morning champagne, celebrating another day of power and wealth. The phone rings, his lieutenant calling with urgent news about Barzini. But Tartaglia never answers. Rocco Lampone enters through the service entrance, key provided by a maid the Corleone's own. He walks past the bodyguard, reading a magazine in the lobby, nods politely, keeps walking. Reaches the penthouse, knocks, 3 short, 2 long, the code Tartaglia's men use. The mistress opens the door. Her smile freezes when she sees Rocco's gun. 2 shots, Tartaglia falls. The champagne glass shatters on marble floor. Rocco exits through the fire escape, disappears into the city. 9:53 a.m. Carmine Cuneo's social club, Little Italy. Don Cuneo plays cards with 3 capos. Laughing, winning, his lucky day. The front door opens. A young man enters, face familiar, one of Tessio's crew, often runs errands between families. Message from Tessio, the young man says, about the Barzini situation. Cuneo waves him over. Doesn't stand, doesn't suspect. The young man pulls a revolver, fires 3 times. Cuneo slumps over the card table. Poker chips scatter. Blood spreads across green felt. The other men reach for weapons. Too late. 3 more Corleone soldiers enter through the back door. The room erupts in gunfire. Brief, brutal, efficient. Silence follows. Tessio's man walks out the front door. Calm, unhurried. Just another errand completed. 9:55 a.m. Ottilio Stracci's office building, New Jersey. Don Stracci rides the elevator to his 5th floor office, reading contracts, planning his day. The elevator stops at the 3rd floor. Doors open. A man in a maintenance uniform steps in, tool bag in hand. Stracci barely glances at him. The doors close. The elevator continues up. Between the 3rd and 4th floors, the maintenance man sets down his tool bag, opens it, removes a pistol with silencer attached. Don Stracci. Stracci looks up. Recognition flashes across his face. Too late. 4 shots. Chest, throat, head. The maintenance man stops the elevator between floors, opens the emergency panel, climbs out, leaves Stracci's body slumped in the corner. When the elevator reaches the 5th floor, empty except for a corpse, secretaries scream. But the killer is already 3 blocks away. 9:58 a.m. Victor Zalucci's restaurant, Detroit. The only Don outside New York, the one Barzini counted on for Western support. Zalucci eats breakfast with his consigliere, discussing expansion into Cleveland, into Chicago. The waiter approaches. Young, nervous, new hire. He sets down fresh coffee. His hand trembles. The cup rattles against the saucer. Zalucci barely notices. Takes a sip. His consigliere says something about contracts, about territories. Zalucci's throat closes. His chest tightens. He tries to speak. Can't. Poison. Fast-acting. Tasteless in coffee. He clutches his throat. Falls forward. Face hits the plate. His consigliere jumps up. Shouts for help. The young waiter is already out the back door. Into a waiting car. Gone before anyone realizes what happened. 10:02 a.m. The Corleone compound. Long Island. Sonny Corleone sits in his father's office. Now his office. Phone on the desk. Waiting. Tom Hagen stands beside him. Notepad ready, checking off names as calls come in. The phone rings. Sonny answers. Barzini is done. Clemenza's voice. Calm. Professional. Good. Another ring. Tartaglia finished. Rocco Lampone. Good. Another. Cuneo eliminated. Tessio. Good. Another. Stracci handled. Willie Cicci. Good. The final call. Zalucci won't be a problem. Saltesio's Detroit contact. Good. Sonny hangs up. Looks at Tom. All 5 families. Decapitated. 15 minutes. Tom makes final notes. Closes his notepad. Your father would be proud. My father taught me this. Sonny stands. Walks to the window. Looks out at the garden where Vito died 2 weeks ago. Patience. Planning. Striking when they think you're weak. What about their underbosses? They're soldiers. They'll want revenge. Let them come. Sonny turns. His eyes hard. Cold. The old fire still burning but controlled now. Channeled. We own half their soldiers already. The other half will fall in line or die trying. And the families outside New York? We offer them peace, territory, respect. Everything Barzini promised but never delivered. Sonny lights a cigar. They join us or they stand alone against us. Their choice. The phone rings again. Sonny answers. Don Corleone. A voice from Chicago, one of the Western bosses. I heard about New York, about the 5 families. News travels fast. I want you to know Chicago stands with the Corleones. Always has. Always will. Good to hear. 3 more calls follow. Detroit, Cleveland, Philadelphia. All pledging loyalty. All recognizing the new order. The East Coast belongs to Sonny Corleone now. Not through rage. Not through impulsive violence. Not through the hot-headed chaos everyone expected from Santino. Through patience. Through planning. Through learning the lessons his father spent 7 years teaching him. Tom Hagen watches Sonny work the phone, securing alliances, making promises, building the new structure. You know what this means, Tom says quietly. You're not just running the family now. You're running the commission, the entire East Coast operation. I know. That's more power than your father ever had. My father didn't need this much power. He had respect, fear, love. Sonny sets down the phone. I have to earn all 3. Starting today. A knock at the door. Clemenza enters. Blood on his sleeve. Exhaustion on his face. It's done, Sonny. Every target. No witnesses. No complications. Good. Get cleaned up. Rest. Tomorrow we start consolidating. Clemenza nods. Starts to leave. Stops. Your father was right about you. He said you had it in you. The fire and the ice. The passion and the patience. He said you just needed time to figure out how to balance them. Took 7 years. Took one morning. At a toll booth. When you listened to him instead of your rage. Clemenza smiles. Tired but genuine. Everything after that was just practice. After Clemenza leaves, Sonny walks to his father's desk. Sits in the chair. Feels the weight of it. The responsibility. On the desk sits a photograph. Vito with his 4 sons, taken at Connie's wedding, 1945, 10 years ago. Sonny traces his finger over Michael's face in the photo, his little brother, the one who wanted nothing to do with this life. Because Sonny learned patience that December morning, Michael gets to stay in Sicily, gets to raise his son in peace, gets to build something legitimate, something clean. The curse stops here, with Sonny. The burden ends with him. Michael never has to become the monster the family needed, because Sonny became it instead. But he became a different kind of monster, the kind his father envisioned, the kind who thinks before acting, who plans before striking, who waits years for the perfect moment, the kind who survives. Outside, the February sun climbs higher. Valentine's Day continues. Couples exchange gifts, hearts and flowers, love and romance. Inside the Corleone compound, Sonny Corleone lights another cigar, makes another call, builds his empire one phone conversation at a time. 7 years ago, he almost died for rage. Today, he rules through patience. The difference is everything. March 1955, 1 month after the Valentine's Day massacre. The commission meets in a private room at the Hotel Roosevelt in Manhattan. 12 families represented. Chicago, Detroit, Philadelphia, Boston, Cleveland, Los Angeles, Miami, and the Corleones. Sonny Corleone sits at the head of the table, not asking permission, not requesting approval, simply taking the seat that belongs to him now. The other dons watch him carefully, measuring, calculating, deciding if they should challenge this or accept it. Frank Costello from New Orleans speaks first, the eldest don present, the most respected voice outside New York. The 5 families are gone. Barzini, Tartaglia, Cuneo, Strachey, Zalucci, all dead in 15 minutes. His voice carries no anger, just observation. That's unprecedented, dangerous. Some might say it violates the rules we live by. Some might say attacking my father violated those same rules, Sonny replies, his voice calm, measured. Some might say trying to kill me at a toll booth violated them. Some might say using my sister as bait violated every code we claim to honor. Silence around the table. The 5 families broke faith first. I simply answered, decisively. Costello nods slowly. And now? Now we build something better, something stable. Sonny leans forward. The East Coast needs leadership, structure, rules everyone follows. I'm offering that. Territory for everyone, profit for everyone, peace for everyone, but also consequences for anyone who breaks that peace. And if we refuse? The Detroit boss. Young, aggressive, testing. Sonny meets his eyes. No threat, no anger, just certainty. Then you stand alone against the largest crime family in America. Your choice. The Detroit boss looks away first. One by one, the dons around the table nod agreement, accepting the new reality, accepting Sonny's leadership, because he earned it, not through rage, through patience and overwhelming force applied at exactly the right moment. The meeting continues for 6 hours. Territory gets divided, percentages negotiated, rules established. The new commission forms with Sonny at its head. By evening, when they shake hands and leave, the American Mafia has a new structure, more organized, more powerful, more unified than ever before. And Sonny Corleone controls it all. Sicily, April 1955. Michael Corleone receives a telegram from New York, from Tom Hagen. Father passed. Peaceful. Sonny now Don. All is well. No need to return. Your brother sends his love and says to live your life. That's his gift to you. Michael reads it 3 times. Sits on the terrace of his villa. Apollonia brings him espresso. Their son Santino plays in the courtyard below, 2 years old, laughing, innocent. Your father? Apollonia asks gently. Gone. But he died the way he wanted, with family, in his garden. Will you go to New York? Michael looks at his son, his wife, his olive oil business that employs 50 men now. All legitimate, all legal, no blood, no violence. No, my place is here, with you, with our son, building something clean. He thinks about Sonny, the brother everyone thought would die young, the hothead who couldn't control his temper. But Sonny changed, learned, became what the family needed. And in becoming that, he gave Michael the greatest gift possible. Freedom. New Hampshire, May 1955. Kay Adams receives a letter. Italian postmark. Michael's handwriting. He writes about his father's death, about Sonny taking over, about staying in Sicily permanently. Then the final paragraph. Kay, I think about you often, about what we had, about what we could have had. I know I promised you a normal life and then disappeared into my family's world. But that world doesn't have to be mine anymore. Sonny made sure of that. If you're willing, if you still care, I'd like you to visit Sicily, meet my wife, meet my son, see the life I've built, and maybe, if you're open to it, we could find a way to be friends again, to heal what was broken. I understand if you can't, but I hope you will. Kay holds the letter, tears streaming down her face. Not tears of sadness, tears of relief. The Michael she loved at Dartmouth still exists, not destroyed by violence, not consumed by the family business, still capable of kindness, of friendship, of normalcy. She writes back that evening. Yes, she'll visit. This summer, she wants to see his new life, wants closure, wants to know he's happy. Because some part of her will always love the boy who wanted to be senator, the good son who tried to escape, and now he has escaped, because his brother paid the price instead. New York, June 1955, 4 months after the massacre. Sonny stands in the cemetery, alone. Late evening. Everyone else gone home. He visits his father's grave weekly, brings flowers, sits on the bench nearby, talks like Vito can still hear him. The business is good, Pop, better than ever. We control everything from Boston to Miami. The families are in line. No wars, no chaos, just profit and peace. The wind rustles through the trees, summer warmth fading into evening cool. Michael's happy. Got a letter from him last week. His olive oil company is expanding, employing 100 men now, all legitimate. He's talking about opening a second office in Rome. Maybe teaching business classes at the university. Sonny lights a cigar. The ritual his father taught him. The patience. You were right, about everything. About the Tollbooth. About Carlo. About waiting 7 years. About becoming the Don through patience instead of rage. He stands, adjusts his father's flowers. But you were wrong about one thing, Pop. You said I gave Michael his freedom. But he gave me something too. He gave me a reason to change. Because if I'd died at that Tollbooth, he would have come home, would have become the killer the family needed, would have lost everything you wanted for him. The The realization hits Sonny like it does every time he visits this grave. I didn't learn patience to save myself. I learned it to save him. He turns to leave, stops, looks back at the headstone. Thank you, Pop, for teaching me, for believing in me, for giving me 7 years to figure out who I could be instead of who everyone thought I was. The compound. That night, Sonny returns home, his home now, the empire his father built, the responsibility he inherited. Tom Hagen waits with papers. Always papers. Business never stops. The Las Vegas expansion is ahead of schedule. The hotels are being built. The casinos are licensed. We'll be operational by next year. Good. And Tessio wants to open operations in New Jersey. Says there's opportunity there. Tell him yes, but nothing illegal. Legitimate business only. We're transitioning. Tom raises an eyebrow. Transitioning. Pop always wanted the family to go legitimate, to become respectable, to be more than criminals. Sonny sits behind the massive desk. That's the long game, Tom. 10 years. 20. We use the power we have now to build legitimate businesses, real estate, hotels, casinos, import, export. And slowly, piece by piece, we leave the old ways behind. That's your father's dream. No, that was his dream for Michael. But Michael got out. So now it's my dream. For my kids. For Connie's kids. For the next generation. Tom smiles. Genuine. Proud. Vito would be very proud of you. After Tom leaves, Sonny sits alone in the office. The empire surrounding him. The power. The wealth. The respect. But also the isolation. The danger. The constant threat. He thinks about Michael in Sicily. Free. Happy. Building something clean. Thinks about the price he paid. The life he gave up. The burden he carries so his brother doesn't have to. Worth it. Every day. Every decision. Every sacrifice. Worth it. Because 7 years ago at a toll booth that almost became his grave, Sonny Corleone learned the most important lesson any man can learn. Love isn't just feeling. It's action. It's sacrifice. It's becoming what you have to become so others can be what they want to be. He saved Michael by learning patience, but Michael saved him by giving him a reason to change. 2 brothers, 2 paths, 1 moment that changed everything. The toll booth Sonny never died at became the crossroads where both their destinies transformed. And in this alternate reality, both brothers survive, but only one stays free. December 1965, 10 years after Vito's death, Sonny Corleone is 47 years old. Grey touches his temples, lines crease his face, but his eyes remain sharp, alert, calculating. He sits in the same garden where his father died, where everything changed. The tomato plants his father loved still grow here, tended carefully, sacred ground. His children play nearby. 3 boys, 2 girls. The oldest, Francesca, is 22, married, expecting her first child. Sonny will be grandfather soon. The compound has changed, expanded, modernized, but the core remains. This garden, this house, this family. Tom Hagen approaches with a telegram. From Sicily, Michael's olive oil company went public last month. Stock price doubled in 3 weeks. He's worth $20 million now. All legitimate, all legal. Sonny smiles, reads the message. Michael's handwriting. Warm, grateful. Brother, I heard about your hotel opening in Las Vegas. Congratulations. The Corleone name means something different now. Respectable. That's because of you. Thank you for the life you gave me. Thank you for the sacrifice you made. I think about that toll booth often, about how close we came to a different story. Love always, Michael. Sonny folds the telegram, tucks it into his pocket beside dozens of others. He keeps every letter Michael sends. Proof that the sacrifice mattered. Proof that one brother's burden became another brother's freedom. You ever regret it? Tom asks, sitting beside him on the bench. Old friends, 40 years of history between them. Regret what? The life, the choices, what you had to become. Sonny considers this, watches his grandchildren play, thinks about the empire he built, the peace he maintains, the respect he commands. Every day I think about Michael in Sicily, living clean, raising his kids without bodyguards, without enemies, without constant fear. He lights a cigar. The ritual never changes. And every day I know I'd make the same choice again. You gave up everything for him. No, I gained everything because of him. Sonny turns to face Tom. If I'd died at that toll booth, Michael would have come home, would have become the Don, would have lost his soul destroying our enemies. Pop's dream for him would have died with me. Instead, you became what he would have been. Worse. I became what I had to be to make sure he never had to be anything. Sonny stands, stretches, age settling into bones. I'm not good man, Tom. I've killed, ordered deaths, built empire on fear and blood. But Michael, he's still good, still clean, still everything Pop wanted one of us to be. Tom stands beside him, loyal consigliere, brother in everything but blood. For what it's worth, you're better man than you think. Patient, strategic, fair. You run this family nothing like the hothead everyone expected. I had good teacher, and good reason to change. Sicily. Same day. Michael Corleone is 45 years old, distinguished grey hair, warm smile, respected businessman. He stands at the opening of his third olive oil processing facility, employing 300 Sicilian workers, bringing prosperity to villages that haven't seen it in generations. Apollonia stands beside him. Their 4 children grown now. The eldest, Santino, works as vice president of the company, following father's footsteps, building, creating, growing, but legitimately, cleanly, honestly. Kay Adams visits twice a year, remained friend after that first visit in 1955. She married a professor, has 2 children, lives in Vermont, but she and Michael maintain connection, closure, mutual respect. She's here today for the opening, watching Michael cut the ribbon, watching him speak to workers in fluent Sicilian, watching him be the man he always wanted to be. You ever wonder, she asks later over dinner, about what would have happened if you'd come home that year, if Sonny had died? Michael's smile fades. He's thought about it. Of course he has. I would have become someone else, someone darker, someone Pop tried his whole life to prevent me from becoming. You think you wouldn't have had a choice? I know I wouldn't have had a choice. The family needed a leader. Sonny would have been gone. Tom couldn't do it. Fredo couldn't do it. It would have fallen to me. And I would have done what needed to be done. He pauses. Remembers that young man in the Marine's uniform, the one who said, "That's my family, Kay, not me." I would have destroyed our enemies, all of them, efficiently, ruthlessly, and in doing so, I would have destroyed myself. But Sonny saved you from that. Sonny gave me the greatest gift one brother can give another. He became what I would have been, so I didn't have to be it. Kay sees the weight in Michael's eyes, the understanding, the gratitude mixed with guilt. You carry that burden, she observes. Every day, every success, every moment of peace, I carry the knowledge that Sonny paid the price for my freedom. Have you told him that? In every letter, in every telegram, in every prayer I say for him. Michael looks at his hands. Clean hands. No blood. No violence. He writes back that it was his choice, his gift, his way of honoring Pop's dream. But I know the truth. I live free because he lives in chains. New York. Christmas Eve 1965. The Corleone compound fills with family. All of them. Sonny's children, Connie's children, Fredo's children, Tom's children. 3 generations gathering for the holiday. For tradition, for connection. Sonny watches from his office window. The laughter, the joy, the safety. This is what he built. Not just empire, not just wealth, not just power. He built this. Family surviving, thriving, growing, without the constant bloodshed that defined his father's generation. The transition to legitimacy is happening. Slowly, carefully, but happening. Hotels, casinos, real estate, import-export, all legal now, all clean. The old ways are dying. The violence, the wars, the brutality. In another 20 years, the Corleone name might mean nothing more than successful business family. Respectable, legitimate, everything Vito dreamed. Tom enters. 2 glasses of wine. They toast silently. To absent family, to fallen soldiers, to the price paid for peace. Michael sent his Christmas card. Tom hands it over. Pictures of his grandchildren. He's grandfather now too. Sonny studies the photographs. Michael's face, older but peaceful, happy, alive. You know what the difference is between us? Sonny asks. Between what I became and what he became. One morning at a toll booth. One decision, one moment of patience, one choice to listen instead of act. Sonny sets down the photographs. Pop spent his whole life trying to teach me that. One morning, That's all it took to learn it. And that one lesson changed everything. You think about what would have happened if you hadn't listened. Every single day. Sonny's voice goes quiet, heavy. I'd be dead. Michael would be Don. Cold, ruthless, efficient. He would have destroyed our enemies more thoroughly than I did, but he would have lost himself in the process. Would have lost Apollonia, lost his children's respect, lost everything that makes him Michael. Instead, you lost those things. No. Sonny turns from window, faces his oldest friend. I never had those things to lose. I was always going to be this. Soldier, Don, killer. That was my path from the moment I was born. But Michael? He had a choice. Could have been senator, governor, legitimate success. And because I lived, because I learned patience, he got to make that choice. Got to be what Pop always wanted one of us to be. The weight of those words hangs in air between them. You saved him by becoming what he would have been, Tom says slowly, understanding fully for first time. You sacrificed your chance at redemption so he could have his. That's what love is, Tom. Not feeling, not words, action, sacrifice. Becoming the monster so the person you love doesn't have to be. Christmas dinner begins. Family gathers. Sonny takes his place at head of table. The Don, the leader, the one who carries burden so others can laugh and love and live without fear. He looks at empty chair, the one reserved for Michael, for brother who will never sit there, who lives 3,000 miles away in Sicily, free, happy, clean, worth it, every sacrifice, every dark choice, every piece of soul he traded for empire. Worth it to know Michael escaped, to know one Corleone made it out, to know Pop's dream survived in one son even if it died in another. Later, after dinner, after family disperses, Sonny stands alone in his father's garden, where it all changed, where patience was learned, where sacrifice was chosen. He thinks about that December morning in 1948, about rage, about the Tollbooth, about the choice that saved two brothers and damned one. And he understands finally, completely, what his father tried to teach him his entire life. Strength isn't destroying your enemies. Strength is destroying yourself so those you love don't have to.